Hello everybody, it's Bill's that college football guy here with yet another video. Yeah, I know I'm in the sleeper because right now there's a bunch of crap going on down there. I literally went in the front and put the curtains up to do some stuff, and they were still pounding on my damn windows. So by going back here, they can't hear anything, they can't see anything, so they'll leave me the damn hell alone. Been that kind of day, so you're gonna have like the lights. So deal with it. Deal with it. All right, now we're talking about picks for the Friday games, and we have a crap ton to get into. 36, not Friday games, excuse me, Saturday and the 2 on Sunday. I'm not picking the Carolina TCU games. It's not. I pick everybody in the AP top 25, and later on when it becomes the CFP top 25, as well as I pick every subscriber school that I did a prediction video on that's not already in the top 25. So we're gonna get into this. All right, we're starting off with the big one, the game of the year so far. Texas at Ohio State. Arch Manning against Julian Sand. The quarterback battle, young guns going at it. Ohio State's actually a half-point home favorite. I've gotten this one. I just trust the Texas roster more than I do Ohio State's. Because Arch has been playing and Julian really hasn't. So I'm gonna take in Texas and the half a point, but it basically means it's a pick 'em. We got Syracuse at Tennessee, neutral site, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So this is neutral site. Tennessee is a 13.5 point favorite neutral site. So that's yikes. I mean, you've got Steve Angeli, the former Notre Dame quarterback, against Joey Aguilar, the former Appalachian State quarterback. Steve Angeli now at Syracuse. Joey Aguilar now at Tennessee. How's this going to go? Who's going to do the best here? Well, I don't know, but I looked at Syracuse's roster and they lost a bit. They got a young Fran Brown's a great young coach, but I got to take my Vols and lay the 13.5. Now we got Toledo at Kentucky. Kentucky is a 9.5 point favorite. This game is a little bit concerning because this is another one that can be primed for an upset. I mentioned the quarterbacks on this because I thought for the first game of the year I should have done it in the early games, and I apologize for the Thursday and Fridays. Mentioned the starting quarterbacks because most of the time we're going to know who we're going to get here for most part of the season. So we've got Tucker Gleason from Toledo against Zach Calzada from Kentucky. Kentucky's got a better team, but Toledo has the better quarterback and has receivers. So that being said, give me Toledo in the 9.5, and if they pulled off the straight upset, it would not shock me. Robert Morris at West Virginia. West Virginia is a 38.5 point home favorite. Zach Tanner's the starter for Robert Morris, and Rich Rod still don't know who the hell the starter is at West Virginia. And I'm sorry, if you don't know who your starting quarterback is, there is a big problem. So with no idea who the quarterback is, even though West Virginia's got a talent is on there. We saw with UNLV with not knowing who your quarterback is, the problems it has is there. Give me Robert Morris and give me plus 38.5 because I don't think they're going to cover not knowing who the hell their starting quarterback is. Then we got Old Dominion at Indiana. Indiana's a 23.5 point home favorite. Colton Joseph from Old Dominion against Fernando Mendoza, formerly of Cal. Think they wish they had him back? I don't know, we'll see. Fernando is just a better quarterback. The rosters are better for Indiana. I'm giving Indiana and I'm laying the 23.5. Next up, we got Eastern Kentucky at Louisville. Louisville is a 38.5 point home favorite. You got Miles Burkett for Eastern Kentucky going up against Miller Moss. I know Miller Moss can be a better quarterback. Burkett wasn't exactly great last year. But inconsistency, it's FCS, it's Louisville. Give me Eastern Kentucky plus 38.5. Louisville's going to win, but they're not covering the spread by that much. Nevada at Penn State. Penn State's a 42.5 point favorite. You've got Chubba Purdy, Brock Purdy's younger brother, I believe it is, against Drew Aller in Happy Valley. Nevada going cross country and all this. Sorry, Chubba, you're about to get blasted. Give me Penn State and I'll lay the 42.5. As I think I was debating on taking Nevada, but I looked at the rest of the roster and go like, Chuba doesn't play defense. So no. Marshall at Georgia. Georgia is a 37.5-point home favorite. Gunnar Stockton going for Georgia. Marshall still has decided who your starting quarterback is. You're ready to go into Athens to play Georgia. You don't know who the hell your QB is going to be? Yeah. Give me Georgia and I'll lay the 37.5 because the offense is going to stall since they don't know who the starting quarterback is. The other game of the week. Alabama at Florida State. Alabama's a 13.5-point road favorite. You got Ty Simpson against Thomas Castellanos, who has been talking a lot and giving a lot of bulletin board material to the Alabama defense. I don't know if this game's played under the lights or not. I didn't really look at the time, and I apologize for that. But if it is played underneath the lights, he's probably going to be looking up at the lights a lot because I don't like Florida State's offensive line. So give me Bama, and I'll lay the 13.5. South Dakota at Iowa State. Iowa State's a 14.5-point favorite. This is going to be an interesting game here because it's a battle of Iowa State quarterbacks. I mean, you got Rocco Beck, the great starting quarterback from Iowa State, against who's South Dakota's quarterback is actually Aiden Bowman, who's a former Iowa State quarterback. So this ought to be interesting here. But Iowa State 14.5. It's not that big of a spread because South Dakota can play a little bit, and I think Iowa State will do better this week, and I think they can give Iowa State. I'm laying the 14.5. Temple at UMass. Temple is a 1.5-point road favorite. Brandon Rose will be a starting quarterback for UMass. Temple still doesn't know who their starting quarterback is. That's a problem. So, and they still haven't announced it. So you know what? Give me UMass plus 1.5 because I have a funny feeling they're going to win that game outright. But just not knowing your starting quarterback is going into week 1, not a good thing for me. Holy Cross at Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is now down to a 10.5-point home favorite. You got Cal Swanson going up against Josh Holst. This game is This is going to be an interesting game here. I debated on taking Holy Cross because I don't know if Northern Illinois is going to cover the 10.5 because Holy Cross can be some problems. But I'm going to take Northern Illinois and lay the 10.5. But if Northern Illinois doesn't cover, it wouldn't surprise me. Montana State at Oregon. Oregon's a 26.5-point home favorite. It means Justin Lawson against Dante Moore. Dante Moore hasn't played in a little bit. Didn't look too good in some of the spring games, it looked like. Now you got to play Lawson, who can sling it around from Montana State, but this Montana State roster got decimated a little bit. So I'm going to get Oregon to lay the 26.5, but if Oregon didn't cover against Montana State, it would not surprise me. Chattanooga against Memphis. Memphis is a 27-point home favorite. Brendan Lewis, the former Nevada quarterback, is the starting quarterback for Memphis, and Chattanooga still hasn't decided who their starting quarterback is. That being said, give me Memphis and I'll lay the 27 because no. Illinois State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 35.5-point home favorite. You got Tommy Rittenhouse against John Mateer. Oklahoma's trying to prove the fact that last year's offense wasn't as sluggish. They want to prove it, so they're going to run this up. Mateer's going to try to prove a point here that this is a different Oklahoma team. Give me Oklahoma, and I'll lay the 35.5. Coastal Carolina against Virginia. Virginia is an 11.5-point home favorite. This is the Battle of the Morrises. MJ Morris, a starting quarterback at Coastal Carolina, versus Chandler Morris, the former North Texas quarterback, who's the starter at Virginia. Both transfers in. MJ, I'm not so sure. I know Chandler is. I look at this right here. I look at the rosters, and I got to take Virginia, and I lay the 11.5. I think Coastal, they might cover, but I don't think so. Long Island University at Florida. Florida is a 45.5-point home favorite. This is Ethan Greenwood against DJ Lagboy. Greenwood really hasn't played as a starting quarterback, and I goes into Long Island University to travel on the road down from New York to the swamp. Yeah, give me Florida lay 45.5, but they may not cover. That one, North Dakota at Kansas State. Kansas State is a 25-point favorite. Jerry Kaminsky, North Dakota's quarterback, comes in to play Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson did not look that good, and North Dakota is decent. But I think they're going to bounce back from the Iowa State game. Give me Kansas State, and I'll lay the 25. UTSA at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is a 22.5-point home favorite. This is Marcel Reed, the Texas A&M quarterback who picked up the end of last season and did pretty damn good, going up against Owen McCown. Owen is no slouch. He can sling it, 3,000 yards last year, great accuracy, played good in big games at times. It was hit or miss, but it's in College Station. They're not traveling that far. Give me UTSA in the points. I think Texas A&M is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be 22.5. I think it's like a 14-point game. North Alabama at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is now a 27.5-point home favorite. Audi Pata, the starter for North Alabama, going against Maverick McIver, who can light it up. We saw that in the Sam Houston State game. Give me Maverick McIver, Western Kentucky, and I'm laying the 27.5. Nicholls State at Troy. Troy's a 20.5-point home favorite. We got Bowman going against Troy favorite, Goose Crowder. I think Troy's just got too much firepower. Give me Troy and I'll lay the 20.5. Now the third big game of the week. See, well, I think third biggest game of the week. LSU at Clemson. Clemson's a 3.5-point home favorite. This is Garrett Nussmeier against Cade Klubnik. This could be two guys who are going to be showing up for the Heisman Trophy presentation. This is going to be a damn good game, but I don't think LSU's got enough pieces. Give me Clemson. I'll lay the 3.5. New Mexico at Michigan. Michigan is a 34.5-point home favorite. This is Jack Lane versus Bryce Underwood, the super fresh. Can Michigan score 35? Yeah, I think they can. So I'm going to lay the 34.5 of Michigan, but New Mexico definitely could cover the spread. Arkansas Pine Bluff against Texas Tech. Texas Tech is a 52.5-point favorite. I was like, okay, I'm taking Arkansas Pine Bluff. Sight unseen, I was taking him. Okay, it's Baron Morton. Okay, he can sling it. That's fine. Great for Texas Tech. Who's Arkansas Pine Bluff's quarterback? They still don't know. It won't be till game time. They're talking. You know what? I'm going to change it up here, and I'm going to say, what the hell's a phone call happening here? Get that out of here. Arkansas Pine Bluff, no quarterback. So much as I think this is crazy, I'm going to take Texas Tech and lay the 52.5. As I don't know who your quarterback is. How are they going to win? UTEP at Utah State. This is going to be a damn good game. This is Utah State favored by 5.5. You're talking Malachi Nelson, the former, all over the damn place quarterback, now against Bryson Brown. Is it Bryson Brown? I wrote that damn thing so fast. Bryson Barnes. My brain's dead. Sorry about that, Utah State fans. Bryson Barnes against Malachi Nelson. It's in Utah State. This was in UTEP. I'd probably give UTEP in the points, but since Utah State's at home, give me Utah State, and I'll lay the 5.5. And we're talking about Georgia State at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, a 34.5-point favorite. You got Austin Simmons coming in as a starting quarterback for Ole Miss. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for Georgia State? They still don't know. That being said, Ole Miss can run it up. Give me Ole Miss, and I'll lay the 34.5. Portland State at BYU. BYU is a 43-point home favorite. You got Bear Bachmeier, freshman. Not sure freshman. I'm not sure which one he was. But anyway, he's coming in. He's going to be the starter. Well, BYU is not going to do that good. Well, who's their starting opposing quarterback? Portland State ran 3 quarterbacks against Tarleton State and lost like 45-0. So give me BYU, and I'm laying the 43. Because you can't figure your starting quarterback is, you're not going to win any damn games. I'm sorry. Eastern Michigan to Texas State. Texas State's a 13.5-point home favorite. Texas Tech still doesn't know who their starting quarterback is. It's going to be Texas State. Eastern Michigan does not announce who their starting quarterback is. Texas State's got Brad Jackson starting up at the starting quarterback, I believe. Give me Texas State and lay the 13.5. East Texas A&M, who's a newcomer to Division I, on the road at SMU. SMU's a 48.5-point home favorite. This is Ron Peeb going up against Kevin Jennings, who just lit things up last year. Give me SMU, and I'm laying the 48.5. I just don't think, no. I don't think East Texas A&M could get, I don't think they're even going to score. Georgia Southern at Fresno State. Georgia Southern is a 4.5-point road favorite at Fresno. Fresno not look good. Eli Warner did not look good. J.C. French the fourth, the starting quarterback versus Georgia Southern. He can sling it. Give me Georgia Southern, and I'll lay the 4.5. Northern Arizona at Arizona State. Arizona State's a 28.5-point home favorite. This is Ty Pennington. No, not that Ty Pennington from TV. Ty Pennington versus Sam Levitt. Just, it's not a contest. Give me Arizona State, and I'll lay the 28.5. Idaho at Washington State. Washington State's only a 13.5-point home favorite here. This is Joshua Wood from Idaho going up against, well, the problem is it's supposedly Eckhouse. But the problem is the depth chart was announced and he's number 1, but no formal announcement. So I don't know for sure, but I got opinions of starting quarterback. But either way, I'm taking Washington State and laying the points. Cal at Oregon State. Oregon State's a 1.5 point home favorite. Sagi Palotele against Malik Murphy. Yeah, give me Oregon State and I'm laying the 1.5. Hawaii at Arizona. Arizona's a 17.5 point home favorite. This is Mike Alejado, who looked pretty decent against Stanford, going up against Noah Fafita, who can go, hopefully, and get back on track. Give me Arizona. I'm laying the 17.5. Utah and UCLA. Utah's a 5.5 point home road favorite. This is Devin Dampier versus Nico Yamaliava. Utah's got all the players coming in. They have the hump come in. I made the thing. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on Utah. Give me UCLA plus 5.5, and they're probably going to win this game outright. Colorado State at Washington. Washington's a 21.5 point home favorite. This is Desmond Williams hosting Braden Falo-Nicolosi. Washington's got a good team, but they're not going to be super improved like some people think. Give me Colorado State, and I'll take the points. Washington's going to win, but they're not going to cover the spread. Those are the Saturday games. The Sunday games, we're talking Virginia Tech at South Carolina. South Carolina's a 7.5 point home favorite. You're talking about Kyron Drones against a guy who's probably going to be in the Heisman Trophy presentation, Lenora Sellers. Virginia Tech could surprise some people. I don't think so. Give me South Carolina. I'm laying the points of 7.5. Notre Dame at Miami. Miami's a 2.5 point road favorite. Why? You got redshirt freshman C.J. Carr going up against Carson Beck. I don't care if nobody's in the stands. You still got to play. And Carson Beck is light years ahead of C.J. Carr. Give me Miami and give me 2.5. So, yeah, just crazy. So, that's enough picks for you. So, thanks everybody for watching. Me the favor, smash the like button. I'm going to go through the picks again. You can comment on it. Go through the picks again. Texas plus 0.5 point at Ohio State. Tennessee minus 13.5. Home versus neutral side against Tennessee in Atlanta. Against Syracuse, in Atlanta. Toledo at Kentucky. Toledo minus 9.5. I'm taking Robert Morris plus 38.5 at West Virginia. Indiana minus 23.5 at home against Old Dominion. Eastern Kentucky plus 38.5 at Louisville. Penn State minus 42.5 at home against Nevada. Georgia minus 37.5 at home against Marshall. Alabama minus 13.5 on the road at Florida State. Iowa State minus 14.5 at home against South Dakota. UMass plus 1.5 at home against Temple. Northern Illinois minus 10.5 home against Holy Cross. Oregon minus 26.5 at home against Montana State. Memphis 27 point home favorite. I'm taking minus 27 at home against Chattanooga. Oklahoma minus 35.5 at home against Illinois State. Virginia minus 11.5 at home against Coastal Carolina. Florida minus 45.5 at home against Long Island. Kansas State minus 25 at home against North Dakota. UTSA plus 22.5 on the road at Texas A&M. Western Kentucky minus 27.5 at home against North Alabama. Troy minus 20.5 at home against Nicholls State. Clemson minus 3.5 at home against LSU. Michigan minus 34.5 at home against New Mexico. Texas Tech minus 52.5. Probably going to regret that one. At home against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Utah State minus 5.5 against UTEP. Ole Miss minus 34.5 at home against Georgia State. BYU minus 43 at home against Portland State. Texas State minus 13.5 at home against Eastern Michigan. SMU minus 48.5 at home against East Texas A&M. Georgia Southern minus 4.5 on the road at Fresno State. Arizona State minus 28.5 at home against Northern Arizona. Washington State minus 13.5 at home against Idaho. Oregon State minus 1.5 at home against Cal. Arizona minus 17.5 at home against Hawaii. UCLA plus 5.5 at home against Utah. Colorado State plus 21.5 at home against Washington. Those are the Saturday games. Sunday, I got South Carolina minus 7.5 at home against Virginia Tech. And I got Miami plus 2.5 at home against Notre Dame. Let me know what you think about my picks down in the comments. Share the video if you want to. And if you haven't done it already, share some other videos that I've done. If you like it, subscribe to the channel on the road to 2K. Another video possibly coming later. Probably might be coming later today. Actually, probably, and I probably end up doing it today. It's Big 12 related. I'm going to do something besides pick videos. I don't know. I might push it to Sunday. probably should, because I need more sources to confirm some things, and I've got some of their phone calls coming back. So a tease for a Sunday video. So thanks everybody for watching. Everyone's having a great day. Be safe and please be good to each other.